Hello everyone, my name is Rashish Kokani and this is my final video for research methods. So one of the discourses I decided to research was agility changing the future of workplace through the digital era. The thesis question was, can agility be implemented within mid to large architectural engineering firms in the Detroit area? And then the hypothesis, many of the AE firms within the Detroit area operate with an agile mindset. So they're able to maneuver to be a physical, agile environment because the structure of organization asks of it. So what is agility? So agility comes from a term called How New Working, HNW, which translates to the new way of working. And basically, the new way of working is of an agile mindset. And so agility is really changing the future where you no longer have your own personal desk. It's no longer a thing. You now have an activity-based floor plan with different types of seating areas. So you can have some over here, like over here in this picture over here, you have individual seating, or you have the traditional workstations, and then you can also have like more of a collaborative area, as you can see here. Technology is what really influenced the new way of working. Without technology and it completely pushing forward, we wouldn't have to think about a new way of working. So we have beforehand, we had just prehistoric buildings, and then hand drafting, and then invention of computers. Then if we skip forward all the way to now we have Revit. So Revit really helps us to compile everything that we do. And it's all through, and once you save a Revit file, you either save it on a server or you can save it to the cloud where someone on the other side of the world can actually have access to your file and they can work through this. So technology, again, is what really is one of the elements that really pushed the new way of working. And we see that actually even in the case study of the Edge, where technology really had an influence on this building, where even to the fact where now it has to enter the Edge, you enter it through using an app. You tell the app where you would like to sit for the day and how long, and whether you want it with your own team or individual space, such as here. That's how the Edge really functions. We talked about how technology is one of the elements that really pushed the new way of working, really pushed agility. Another super important element that pushed agility is generations. So, and the research that I found, by 2025, 75% of the workforce will be comprised of millennials. So with millennials, we grew up on technology. We grew up with understanding how computers work and how we don't like to just sit down for hours in a day just sitting in the same spot. We have the ability to be flexible, to work wherever. And you see this throughout the research that I found in a lot of these sources that you can actually go through and read how millennials need to be able to have multiple spaces to work in. So not just a typical workstation, but whether it's in a collaborative area with the rest of their team or on their own, or even just walking around and going to a nearby coffee shop to work. That's where they like to be. However, even though by 2025, 75% of the workforce will be compromised with millennials, we also have to take in mind that within AE firms, especially large to mid-size to large, we have to understand that you have from baby boomers all the way up into millennials. So we need to understand what baby boomers really need and how they like to work. And a lot of the baby boomers like to have their own individual workstations where they don't like to be bothered, just complete, being secluded. And some don't necessarily like that, but a lot of them do. So with having an agile floor plan, you don't necessarily cut out the workstations, but rather you give multiple types of activities, having different types of seating options for the different types of activities people need. So that's what it really is. You can see here with the typical floor plan, you have just a sea of workstations. It's really closed off in some areas. You have a small collaborative area on this side, but again, it's a typical office layout. That's what it really is. And it's a limited number of seating options. You don't have many options to go between. However, with the activity-based floor plan, you have the workstations over here, but now it's a bit different. Where here it's now in a bench form, so it's not just a typical workstation how you all have your own individual desk throughout the day. You have the workstation, but it allows for more people to sit near you. And then you also you can have like more of the booths, you have more of the benching, you have more couches over here, all various types that you get. And you can even see it in this floor plan as well. So even if you need your heads down work, such as over here, you can seclude yourself in like a little cube and kind of just get your work done, especially if you have a deadline that you need to get through. And again, we see various types of seating options over here and over here. Again, this is about being agile, about offering different types of seating arrangements to accommodate for different types of workflows. That is what agility really is, and that is what the new way of working really is, because we no longer have one type of person. We have multiple types of people working in an office, and we need to be able to accommodate for those people. The topology of an AE firm allows for having an activity-based floor plan. However, if you look at, let's say, a law firm, it wouldn't necessarily work that way, because a lot of law firms, you have individual offices that surround the perimeter, and very limited amounts of collaboration areas. And this is because with lawyers, you have confidential information that other lawyers can't even hear within the firm. So you need to have closed doors almost at all times. And I've actually talked to a couple of lawyers about this, and even though agility is very positive, it just wouldn't be positive in this type of typology, as opposed to an AE firm. So how do we even understand that if this even works within an AE firm? So obviously you have the different types of methods researching if this would actually work in an AE firm. Through surveys, site observation, tracking employees in rooms being used, personal interviews, data collection, statistical analysis, and testing. So especially with the tracking employees and rooms being used, that's very, very important, because understanding how employees move throughout this space and how they use the space, as well as how many rooms are actually being used. Are the conference rooms all being used? Are the phone rooms all being used? And how often are they? Surveys are important because you are allowed to understand what employees think about their own space, but they don't always put everything on there. So you need to be able to go and talk to them, personal interviews, and understand, record different anecdotes from the people. While recording those anecdotes, you really understand how they feel about their space and what they truly need. Especially with data collection and statistical information, comparing what you found to information that you've come across through all around the country is super important to understand does this work here? Has this worked in other places of the country or other parts of the world? I mean, we obviously see the edge, which is over here, that this has actually worked for them, and this is in the Netherlands. So why can't it work in Michigan and the Detroit area? Why not? And obviously, the statistical analysis backs it up, because we even see here that the number of people who always or mostly work from home in the United States from spring 2013 to spring 2017 has gone up tremendously, from 9.97 to 12.63. So people are already agile. They want this and they need this. So does the composition of an AE firm allow for agility? And looking, after using the methods of research and understanding the composition, you truly understand that it really can be. Because within an AE firm, you have architecture, you have interior, engineering, construction administration, and you have different people working on multiple projects, whether they're on site, they're an engineer, they're an architect, they're an interior designer, and they are on different projects. You rarely have a person on just one project. They are sometimes on 2 and 3 and 4 projects at a time. So they are going back and forth between this person to that person, this person, and they're constantly going back and forth and trying to collaborate. So with agility, instead of them having to sit one over here and then one over here and then one over here, they can now move around. They have the ability to be like, okay, in the morning I'm going to ask my team to sit all together in this area to collaborate on a certain part of a project. In the afternoon, I will sit in this area with my other team to get more information on a different phase of the project. So you're no longer restrained to this small portion of a sea of workstations. You're now open and have a variety of places to sit with your team in different times of the day. And maybe you don't even need to discuss a certain part of a project, that day. Maybe on Monday you're discussing project 1 and project 3, but then on Tuesday you're discussing only project 2. So you have the ability to change where you would like to sit, especially with the activity-based floor plan. So again, we come to the conclusion of the future of AE firms and if they're able to be agile. This is yesterday, where you're at your own station every day. Today, where you're able to take what you have at your workstation and move it to anywhere you want. And then tomorrow, where you're able to just pick up your iPad, your laptop, and work wherever. This is the future of AE firms. We are able to be agile, obviously through the different methods of research and the different contexts that we find. This is a possibility, and I believe that if we continue to push this, we can change the future of workplace in AE firms and possibly other types of topologies as well. Thank you.